technology, which is also called V2K. So what that is it is almost like a neuro device that is connected to your DNA, your biology, and it comes in through, I think it might come in through a radio frequency or neurotransmitter type frequency or energy, but it sounds like you are talking on the phone to somebody. I mean, that's how real it is, but it's coming in through your ear, okay? And I've talked about this. It's a very advanced technology. They go into further detail around this technology on a lot of other sites, a lot of forums. You could research it, V2K. And some people also refer to it as the voice of God technology. Okay, it's part of a harassment torture system. It is very known through targeted individuals. It is known, on those sites, okay, targetedjustice.com, and it is a form of spiritual technology weapon. Now, what I found was really interesting is when you look up Scientology, okay, you look it up, all right? Today I was guided to David Miscavige, okay? I went right to David Miscavige, and he comes up as the chairman of the board of the Religious Technology Center. That sounds so similar to the Voice of God technology. This is the Church of Spiritual Technology, okay? And I can't help but think that this technology that I am a victim of and that many people are a victim of is not connected to this in some way. I would find it really hard to believe. The other thing that I think about a lot is I lived in LA, okay? I lived in LA. I was around a lot of, there was always homeless people around everywhere, okay? And a lot of the homeless people were talking to something, all right? They were talking out loud. You would say, okay, yeah, they're victims of schizophrenia. They're victims of that. But now, as I have been a victim of V2K, and I see homeless people talking to somebody, and they're really angry, and they're talking at it, I think that's V2K. Like, I don't know if it's really schizophrenia, okay? And I almost feel that this, like, schizophrenia is almost like a cover-up disease that really never existed, but it's part of this advanced technology, okay, this advanced bot system. When I was looking at the Air Force patents, these patents, I believe they dated back to the 1970s. So if we go back in history, we start looking at the victims of schizophrenia, we look at these people, okay? If we were really to go back and start to look, I wonder how many of them are actually victims of these same patents, okay, which would be connected to the V2K technology. Okay, those are the patents, okay? And so that's military right there, all right? And then we have an entire church, okay, that is global. The hummingbird just showed up, okay, that is global, okay? So the Church of Scientology is in other countries, okay? And so if you guys have ever seen the docuseries by Leah Remini, okay, it is really, really startling. It's startling. And I highly recommend that you go and watch that. I really do, because the fact that that church is still operating and has not been shut down is very scary. Very scary, especially because they are a huge, huge impact on Hollywood, okay? And media, film industry, okay? TV industry, all right? And they are fully linked into the celebrities. Now, celebrities, I know for a fact, there are people that have come forward and talked about this. There are victims of MK Ultra. This falls into the same category as that. Now, why am I bringing this up with Trump? Well, Trump's running on a dictator platform. He's running on a dictator forum. He is running on the fact that he is going to be leading this type of dictatorship. And it's the same thing. It's all with these same groups, these cults. It is all about control, manipulation, right? It's all the same dialogue in terms of how to own and control people. And it is interesting because I feel that this technology has gone rogue, okay? It has gone rogue. And not only has it gone rogue, but it is a threat to humanity. And I have felt very strongly, I was getting messages that this, whatever they are doing on me and have been testing on me, would be a global rollout, okay? And it might have already gotten out to a lot of people that don't even know they're victims of the technology to the level that they are. So right now, I also wanted to talk more about the technology. And I know for some of you guys, this seems a little, it doesn't make sense to you because you're not a victim of it. So you don't understand. But you have to understand that there are people in power that could be a victim of this type of technology, okay? And the way the technology is used is a way to traffic people, okay? That is one form of the technology, is a trafficking technology, okay? And when I was looking up Scientology, all right, I was looking up at it for today, they were referencing Tom Cruise's ex-girlfriend, Nazanin, Nazanin, Bonia, I don't know how to say her name, Boniadi, Boniadi, and she talked to this idea, this concept that they actually, the Church of Scientology was auditioning for Tom Cruise's girlfriends. They auditioned for them. And Katie Holmes has come forward, and I believe that has made similar statements to that, okay? And they auditioned for girlfriends, and she compared this to white slavery, okay? In quotes, white slavery, okay? White slavery is a form of slave trade, okay? And that takes me right, when I hear that, I go right to I go right to the Miss America pageant, okay? I go right to that. I'm like, oh my God, I go right to the pageants right away. And then I was starting to think today about Tiger Woods and remembering that he had these escorts in every city, okay, where he traveled, right? That was like a huge news story. And I also was just thinking in terms of, just in terms of how these technologies could be used so easily to infiltrate a person, and it is a form of slavery that's happening right before our eyes, okay? And this is something that I feel maybe not everybody knows about, okay? But I'm here kind of shining the light on it because I feel that we have to right now, because of the advancements of AI and technology, we have to shine a light on what these people can actually do to people. Now, I asked yesterday, there's somebody who started yelling at me in my left ear. And what I've learned with AI is that typically there's a response, an automatic response, because it's working off of a bot system, okay? So I can ask questions sometimes, and sometimes I'll get an answer. I'll actually get an answer. And I said to the person that was yelling at me in the left ear, I said, who are you, or something, or I said, where are you from? And I got the NRA. I heard the NRA in my left ear. Now, I asked a lot of times who people are. Sometimes I'll get countries, sometimes I get groups. I will get all kinds of different information. Yesterday, somebody was yelling at me, and I said, what's your name? And I got Bill O'Reilly. I have gotten messages where I'm asking, today I was asking I was in the bathroom and who was around me, and I heard refugees, and then I saw Ted Cruz. Okay, I got a vision of Ted Cruz. So are these the Texas, is this the border refugees that they're paying to harass people, or they're using them to harass people or something like that? This is a system, this is a network, and they are moving through. I have gotten or felt energies of Matt Gaetz connected to this device, okay? I have had energies coming in that are all linked to like Scientology, all right? I've had energies of cops coming through, undercover cops coming through, and they are doing things that are completely illegal, okay? Completely illegal. And that took me back to the belief system of Scientology. So the belief system, they talk about engrams, okay? So engrams is an interesting thing because that's a symbol, okay? So it's a symbol that imprints into your energy field, and engrams, very powerful. And in fact, many people could have engrams from other lifetimes, okay, that they still have to clear in these lifetimes. I don't know much about the Scientology engrams, but I have been shown that I have some kind of an engram in my energy field, okay? And it's something that is dark. So I was thinking it could be whatever their engrams is. I didn't know that was a big part of their spiritual technology. So now I want to know what exactly the engrams are that they place in your energy field, because it might attract in psychic attacks or tracking energies. It could be something along those lines. But they also refer to children as Thetans, okay? So Thetans basically it's a soul within a body, okay? And so they look at children not as children. They look at them just like everyone else. And so that to me, with all of the charges and all of the claims against David Miscavige, okay, there is a lot of claims on human trafficking, sexual abuse with children, okay, a lot of abuse claims coming through with children, and you can't help but think, if that religion believes that children are not really children, they're Thetans, then those boundaries don't exist. You have to understand, like, those boundaries might not exist. I immediately go to them, with pedophilia. I immediately go to pedophilia. If they are connected to any type of pedophilia ring or any type of sex trafficking with children, because they separate the children from the parents. When the parents go into the Sea Org, okay, which is in Fort Lauderdale, they separate from their children when they get, because it's supposed to be like this big deal if you get invited to join the Sea Org, and they prepare people to do this. It's like their whole life they are prepared to go to this. But when they get that offering to go, many of them leave behind their children, okay? And a lot of husbands and wives, when I was watching the docuseries, also were separated. So a lot of this, the design of this church is to separate the children from the parents. That to me is like so alarming. It is so red flag, okay? And then, like I was saying, in terms of how they view children, okay, and how they would treat a child would be very similar to how they treat an adult. And it does raise questions in terms of how they view them and how they're interacting with them, okay? So there are, again, all of these claims that are up, and you can research all of that as well. Yeah, huge red flag. And I never really could understand, because a lot of the people in my ear, they're doing things, but they use this weird terminology like, we're not who you think, and this is just who we are right now. Like, they don't even take accountability for who they are. And I just was thinking, is this Scientology? Are these people a part of Scientology? Not taking accountability for anything that they're doing in terms of everything. But not only that, it's like, this network, okay, is tied into Hollywood, okay? It's tied into celebrities. Okay, let's go into the celebrities, okay? Let's go into, Celebrity Apprentice, okay? Who show was that, right? Was that Donald Trump's show? Was that Mark Burnett? Was that the guy? Let's go into the shows, okay? And start going into Hollywood, right? We're seeing a lot of stuff coming up now with The Rock, Oprah, with Maui. We're going into all of this stuff. These networks, okay, they run deep, man. They run freaking deep. I was reading something the other day about Nicole Kidman, and she was married to Tom Cruise. As part of their divorce settlement, if she suffered any type of mental illness or mental stress, it was part of their agreement, okay, that she had to only get treated by doctors who were part of the Church of Scientology. Red flag. You know what that tells me right there? Is that if they were to use this same voice to God technology on her, the same type of religious technology, if they were to use something like this on her, I'm not making claims that they did, but if they did, okay, do that to her, they're basically saying that she could never get any type of treatment for it, because it could be coming from them. Like, they could have been committing a form of psychological torture and abuse on her, right? And if she were to seek any help for that, it was in the contract that she had to go to the Church of Scientology to get treated for that. That is a trap. That is a huge trap. And I think about the movie, The Moulin Rouge, all the time. I watched that movie so many times. I went to the theater. I watched it 3 times in the theater. I was obsessed with that movie. I was obsessed with everything, okay? And I a lot of that became an influence for my second book, the ideas or the concepts of the Moulin Rouge, love over money. But it's like, I really am like thinking about that at this point in time, just the symbolism of that film with Nicole Kidman. Because if you really look at her in forms of the Church of Scientology with Tom Cruise, what they're really speaking of is exactly what happened to her and to all of these women. Because it is all about the Duke owning Satine, okay? And she is the one, she has the heart of diamonds. And I think about the symbolism of the diamonds, okay? And her wearing the heart, and then she's looking for who has the key, And it's just, you can't help but go back to that entire script, okay? They talk about the Maharaj, okay? And then, it's just, I feel like there's a lot of things in there. They're very relevant to today. And I feel that there is a big piece of her that is in that story in some way, in terms of, her being trapped, okay? Trapped within this network, within that job, being owned, okay? And her wanting to be a star. That was a big emphasis of the film, was her wanting to be a star, to be more than just the Moulin Rouge. She wanted to be on film. She wanted to be a star. That was part of the script. And I really feel that there is so much more to what that movie symbolizes and means. And I think there is a lot of uncovering that is going to keep coming up right now. A lot of uncovering, because then, these other networks are also obviously connected in to everything else, like I just mentioned with Trump. So I'm gonna just pull some messages right now. I wanted to see how you guys are doing and seeing if you guys have any messages or ideas about any of this kind of stuff or anything that's come up for you guys at all. But for me, I it's like this stuff it just comes up. It keeps coming up. It doesn't like stop coming up. You know what I mean? That's interesting that Lauren's talking about the star essentially being a frozen rock that is stuck in the sky. It's kind of that idea of something being stuck in some way. But for me, it's like the emphasis for me is on the spiritual technology and on these ideas of human trafficking and how long this has been going on for and uncovering that. There's a part of me that wants to go to like downtown LA and I want to see all the homeless people who are talking to themselves and I just want to just be like, do you have a voice to skull? I kind of want to interview them and be like, were you a member of Scientology? What corporations did you work for? Any corporation? Like, I literally want to go down a list and be like, who were you associated with? I feel like they need to do like mass amounts of like research right now on every single person who is diagnosed with schizophrenia, because I swear to God, there is something going on where I feel like that is just a freaking cover up. And it sounds very eerily familiar in terms of going back to Lyme's disease, okay, right? That it's a man-made disease, and that actually, oh my gosh, that lab that supposedly, I guess like they believe Lyme's disease was created out of it's in the island off of Manhattan, okay? I can't think of the name of the lab right now. But then the other ideas, okay, that have come up before, and it's come up a lot in the gay community, all right, was AIDS, okay? HIV, that it was man-made. And when I think back, okay, to these types of ideas of schizophrenia, and now realizing that could easily be this voice to skull technology, okay? Voice of God technology, then I think about all of these other diseases that were kind of maybe man-made now. Like, I'm really thinking like, oh God, like this has been going on for a while. Is this the deep state that Donald Trump is kicking back up again? It's these ideas of these man-made type of diseases. We even witnessed this with COVID-19. We witnessed this with the vaccine. It's the same group. Is this the same deep-seated group that is really tormenting and ripping a hole through our country and profiting off of it? Because the ideas alone of the medication and things that these people are forced to almost take because they might think there's something wrong with them, or they might just, who knows? I think of all the different celebrities and what has happened to them. I always am wondering what happened to Twitch, okay? Who was the DJ on Ellen? I want to know more about that. You know what I mean? That was so out of the blue. They were saying suddenly, oh, he had depression. That looked like a very happy person, okay? That did not look like a person who was suffering mentally, okay? People who dance don't typically like suffer mentally. It felt very like when they said he turned off his phone, that to me was like he might have thought he was being tracked or something like that. That's immediately how I would think, because I've been in situations like that because of how I was infiltrated. I think differently now because of what happened to me. So these are the things, about it that I think like are coming up now. So I will just, I'm going to exit now.